Hey, this is Camille Who, the teaching artist, and I am going to tell you about my vocal music history and what I teach my students as far as vocal ability, warm-up, philosophy. Singing and dancing, really, I don't remember which came first, sort of the chicken or the egg kind of thing. It's all in me. It's all what I do. I've been singing and dancing since as long as I can remember. And I started to, I remember asking my mother for vocal music lessons, because I knew that I liked singing. I sang in church, I sang in choruses, I sang in choirs. I knew that was a part of what I wanted to do when I discovered there was a music and art and performing arts high school in New York City, Fame High School. Of course, I was watching Fame all of my childhood. I was watching that show. So I was like, ooh, what? There's a school dedicated to that? Oh my goodness. So anyway, knowing that that was going to be the direction that I was going to take, I decided, I wanted to, I begged my mother for vocal lessons. And she saw my hunger, she saw my drive, and she saw that it was not going away. The desire was not going away like the many other things that I had tried growing up. So finally got vocal lessons, auditioned, went to LaGuardia High School, music and art and performing arts, and did my thing. Graduated with a vocal music endorsement. Really, really, really amazing experience, just being around other artists. Focusing, half of my day was focused on that particular art. But really what stuck with me was vocal technique. Do you know that I actually, as crazy as this may sound, as much as I love singing, I love vocalizing. Funny enough, I don't like teaching singing. I actually don't like giving voice lessons. I know so many people have said, girl, you sing so well and you do this and you know all these techniques and blah, 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 blah. You should teach vocal music. And I swear that is the least favorite thing I like to teach. Why? Because it's boring. To me, it is so boring. I've taught vocal lessons before. A lot of times I've taught vocal lessons to kids who are just trying it out. So they're not quite dedicated to it. I draw up this whole lesson plan for them and I get excited about it, only for them to go, and I go, okay, did you practice what you were supposed to do last week? And they're usually like, no, I was busy. And then we're back to lesson number one. It's mind-numbingly boring for me. Now, if there is a student that is doing their thing, if there is someone who says, can you help me with my vocal technique? Then that's more exciting for me. When I know you're dedicated to the craft, when I know that you're actually doing the work, and then when we come back together, I know that you've grown, so I can give you that lesson. I can take you to that next level. Also, if someone's working on just their vocal performance technique, that is exciting for me. Giving vocal lessons, it bores me. However, when I started teaching drama, because vocal health is important, you're telling a story with your imagination and your body and your voice. So you have to be able to use your voice. You have to be able to project your voice and cover the whole space that you're speaking in. And in order to not do that, in order to not hurt yourself, you have to learn how to use your voice in a healthy way. Now, when I learned massage therapy and healing arts, I actually used those principles and tied it to my vocal music or vocal warm up curriculum. I may not be teaching you all how to sing, and not every play is a musical. So you're not always singing, sometimes you're just speaking. So I had to teach vocal health. I sort of came to a place of embracing the vocal warm up for that purpose. But as far as vocal teaching voice lessons, sorry guys, I just don't like doing it. And I'm not going to just spend time doing something I don't like when I can do so many other things. The message here is there's a physics concept that says all principles are microcosms of each other. So what works in one arena is still true in another arena. So what I learned in massage therapy and healing arts, I took some of those principles and I put it in the vocal music, vocal health, dance, drama arenas and tied those into my curriculums, which made my classes so unique to who I am and what I've experienced, but also gave my students a different dimension of their learning experience. It's so cool. So the time is usually limited to my drama classes. So I do a quick vocal warm up and I prepare my students to be able to do a quick warm up in their car, or a quick warm up, say if they're at an audition, then they can go into the bathroom real quick and do a quick warm up and sort of get their vocal cords all ready for the task at hand. Here we go. Your upper register, or your, I say, yawning voice, I tell my students to go ah, drop your jaw, ah, and then breathe in and yawn. Now the key there is to go from that upper register all the way down to the lowest vocal note that you can go down to without having a skip in your voice. So the skip being that skip. So the idea is to and the thing to work towards achieving in that, because we would do it every week, and every time we had a class, that was a part of the vocal warm up. And that was the goal in that exercise. It was to not slide down and not have a skip in there. So if you pay attention to the first time I did it, there was no skip. So that was always the goal for my students. A second vocal warm-up for my drama students is we warm up our nasal voices, and this is what I do. I say, okay, breathe in and cackle like a witch. Now, this may seem silly and ridiculous and unnecessary, but in drama, it is very necessary, because when someone actually gets the Wicked Witch as a role, they tend to scream it out, to scream out that voice, and then what happens is that you ruin your voice in the first show out of 10 shows, okay? So now you got 9 shows to do with no voice. When you learn different aspects of your voice and hone that and get better at it, then you tend to save your voice. So, if you do this and you just do that for 10 shows, you won't ruin your voice. Most times you have a mic, so it's not necessary for you to, most times, that's using it in an unhealthy way. I like to do the witch cackle But then I also like to make my students pose like a witch. And then we breathe in again, and it's still doing our nasal vocal warm up. We say, I'll get you, my pretty. Why do I do that? I like to get our bodies engaged. Once you get your body engaged, your voice really carries. Your voice really comes out. There is a guttural aspect to getting that voice out, but also there's just a biggerness. It really helps when your whole body is engaged. If you are telling a story with your imagination and your voice and your body, having them work together makes a more dynamic performance. It's pretty cool. And I know I geek out on this kind of stuff, but well. And oh, the last one is I make all my students go very, 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 very far from each other. And then we point to somewhere really far in the room. And we use our voices that we are yelling up to mom and dad in the bedroom. That voice, not the yelling outside voice. And we get better at using that big, loud, long, traveling voice to learn projection. This teaches clearly vocal health, right? This teaches how to get your voice out, cover a big space without screaming, but being able to engage that diaphragm and really get it out. Take that deep, huge breath, knowing that sound travels. And so that's the reason why I use I point. I have them point because it really just makes them helps them, my students, to remember that your voice has to travel to wherever it's going. The energy has to travel. So the energy in your voice, the energy in your thoughts, the energy in your body has to travel to where it's going. And so it also helps them to remember to make it travel long. Because if you're far from somewhere, say you're far from someone, I don't know, down the block from someone, and you're trying to yell and tell them something. If you speak really fast, or if you yell really fast, they will not understand what you're saying. So you have to actually slow it down. Hey, get off my lawn. That travels. It's big. You're using your diaphragm and not your throat, and you're not straining those vocal cords, and and it's traveling. The energy is traveling. You're seeing that you have to go far so then your voice follows. As long as you take that nice deep breath, you have the power to be able to get that there, to make it travel that way. Also, breathing exercises. Breathing in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing out. I don't know how to count to 8, apparently. Anyway, so I would have them do that to practice breathing control. And because you definitely need, breathing has, oh my goodness, breathing is life. Breathing is life. And learning how to breathe and control breath is such a powerful thing to learn. And it goes in every arena. When you are freaking out about something, take a deep breath and start breathing. And then that calms you down. It helps you to think straight. When you are singing and you're about to sing a high note, breathing and taking a nice big breath actually helps you to relax those vocal cords, and then you are less anxious about the notes that are coming out. And they come out easily. Your vocal cords just relax, and then they're able to do the job Um, Breathing also is amazing when you are having a child, when you're having a baby. I practiced breathing, and I'm not talking about the, but like really just focusing on breathing in deeply and breathing out deeply in a controlled way really gets you through labor successfully and helps you to focus on that, even though the pain is there. But it helps you really get through like the toughest of contractions. It's incredible. So, principle, different arenas. It's still true in different arenas. It's so cool. I am going to share a really awesome verse that I found in the Bible that says something about law. When God is talking about law, if He created creation, then He's giving us laws to work within that creation so that we are safe and we're protected and we're successful. So this verse comes from Joshua 1 and 8 in the NIV, the New International Version. And that is this: keep this book of the law always on your lips. Practice, practice, practice. Remember, remember, remember. Meditate on it day and night so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Follow those laws, people. Get to know them and make your way prosperous and successful. And try using different laws from one arena in another arena. It's pretty cool. I think some of you have already done that. Anyway, I'm Camille Who, other teaching artist, and I am